And I was going to call upon ourselves as Kenyan citizens to give these bipartisan talks support and an opportunity to try and take us forward as a nation and as a people. We, as the people of Kenya and the people of Kisumu County, and as the leadership of Kisumu County, we have no alternative as a county that bore the brunt of the recent street protests against cost of living and bad governance. We really have no alternative than continue with the support of ongoing bipartisan talks. I think in the context of our history, such talks have occurred before at a conjuncture that the nation needs such talk greatly. We have been following closely the ongoing dialogue talks between the Kenya Kwanza and the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance. And must remember that as we do so, we painfully also remember the tear gas and stones and deaths and roadblocks that we experienced during the demonstrations, during the Mandaman. That was necessary to draw the attention of the world and of Kenyans to the importance of needed political and socio-economic changes in our nation and a correction to our legislative process and elections. If you look at the agenda of these talks, they are addressed to those issues. We are aware that the talks have been facing some challenges, ostensibly on the constitution of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, among other issues. But the talks remain focused on the intent and content of the dialogue. We have come a long way as a country from the dark moments of our history, and must as a people continue to struggle unwaveringly against all forces of obstruction, personal curls, and a tendency for chauvinism. We believe that no Kenyan citizen has to endure subhuman living conditions. Every Kenyan must have adequate food, decent shelter and clothing, adequate health, security, and gainful employment. It is your right to enjoy minimum standards of human existence. The satisfaction of basic needs is a human right, at par with the right to life. After deep consultations and soul searching in the leadership of this country, we wish to state as follows. One, that as one of the governors whose county bore the brunt of the protests, including deaths, we support the dialogue and would like it to continue to a successful conclusion according to the wishes of our party leader, Prime Minister Right Honorable Raila. Two, that we appeal to the negotiators and our leaders to give the talks a chance to help resolve issues that resulted in the demonstration. Thirdly, that we assure our party leader that as the leadership of the County of Kisumu, we support his decision to engage in dialogue and ask him to count on our support. Four, that we are aware that some leaders across the country would like the dialogue to collapse so that the country lapses back into political and economic chaos and turmoil. We should avoid such paths that will lead to more misery for the masses. 5, that we would like to warn such leaders who have been blowing hot and cold about the talks that Kenyans will judge them harshly should the bipartisan talks collapse. Let what is on the table be what is under the table. 6, that we remind our leaders from both sides of the political divide that some time is running out and that the faster we conclude these talks, the better for the people of Kenya. Let us tone down on hardline attitudes and embrace dialogue. 7, and finally, that we must stay together, for when we divert our focus, we'll never succeed and come out of the quagmire we are in as a country. We should never allow selfishness, egotistic and chauvinistic ways replace the cause we have believed in for so long. Indeed, the talks are but a moment in the struggle that we continue to get ourselves involved in for the full democratization of this nation through an electoral process that will truly be representative of the people of Kenya. And where an election, when it is over, as a democratic election, while the winner will celebrate his or her victory, the loser will accept the results as legitimate. When the loser, or so-called loser, does not accept the results as legitimate, there's definitely a big question mark on the democratic nature of that election. In the history of Kenya, there have only been 2 elections which have resulted in a situation when the winner celebrates the results and the loser accepts the results as legitimate. That is the 1963 election, the so-called Kenyatta election, where KANU won and KADU accepted the results as legitimate. In the year 2002, when NAC won and KANU accepted the results as legitimate. You remember the then leader of KANU, or leader of the party that we were struggling against, went and had a press conference as even before NAC announced the victory, that he was satisfied and the party that lost was satisfied the elections were legitimate. It is only the bipartisan talks that will give the country, or get the country, out of the current muddle and allow it to forge ahead with the business of development and nation building. So that if indeed we are in quest for democracy, we should be ready to hold an election where A, while the winner celebrates the victory, B, the loser will accept the results as legitimate. To me, that is a litmus test of a democratic election. And I'm quite sure that we have people who share the same views in the bipartisan talk to make Kenya come out of the present quagmire and create an environment where Kenyan people will indeed have a truly democratic